I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys really quick. This should be a short one, air layering. I showed you a couple videos back the end results of air layering a pink princess, and I'm going to just show you guys how I start the process. So it's super, super easy. This is an excellent way to propagate without the risk of losing leaves. So basically what air layering is you take damp sphagnum moss, plastic wrap, or something along that line. Some people use like little plastic balls that you can put around. I haven't tried those. I just use plastic wrap because I have it and it's cheap. So what it is you put the damp moss around the node, and then the roots start growing. So you end up with roots on an attached rooted plant, and then you can cut it and you already have a rooted plant without having to have that possibility of risk and failure when you cut and propagate. So I'm just going to take a ball or a handful of wet sphagnum, and I'm going to take a little piece of plastic wrap, and I'm going to just, now I already put one up here before I decided to show you guys what I'm doing, and I'm actually going to layer this entire plant. This is a Florida Beauty that I have been meaning to air layer for a while, and I've just been too busy and haven't gotten around to it. So I'm going to take this, and because I usually just do like a top cut, because I'm doing this one multiple nodes, I'm trying to keep it a little bit tighter. I'm not generally very picky about where the bottom of this goes because it doesn't really matter to me, because it doesn't hurt it if it's a little bit lower than where I'm trying to get it to propagate. But this time I'm going to be air layering down the entire plant. So I'm going to just take my damp sphagnum. I'm going to get a little bit more. You don't want it soaking wet and you don't want it dry. So you got to have that just damp. Shake all that water out and take my moss there. And I'm going to put this here to hold it in place. Put that plastic, see if I can get it better. Put that plastic around back behind where I'm going to be air layering. I'm going to put that moss around that node. And I'm going to then wrap this nice and tight. Sometimes it's kind of awkward. It doesn't look pretty, but it's a super, super good fail-safe way to root. I have not ever had any issues doing it this way. And you know what? I'm actually, because I've got two nodes that are kind of close together, I might try to do both in one, just to save a little bit of space here. And like I said, it's kind of awkward, and it's not really an easy thing to show, but I'll just kind of talk you guys through it, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that node in this one, because the stem's in the way. So once I get this in here, I'm going to pull that foil, or I'm sorry, the plastic wrap, nice and snug to hold in that moisture and to hold that moss all in place, and just give it a good wrap around the stem. Sometimes the plastic wrap stays on its own. Sometimes I have to tape the end of it to keep it in place, because we all know plastic wrap likes to do its own thing, and this one just happens to not want to stick. So I'm going to hold that there. I'm going to get a little bit of tape. Just using my packing tape because it's here. And then just put that right around there. And that's what we got. So this is what I have here. And what's going to happen is those roots will start to grow. And then you can go back to a couple videos and see what I end up doing. Just cut it and then you pot it. So yeah, super, super easy. I'm going to go ahead and layer down the stem. I'll do another one while you guys are watching. Got another piece of plastic wrap here. And this is just basic, cheap, it's probably even generic saran wrap that I picked up at my local grocery store. And it works really, really well. Gives you a little bit more wiggle room. Those, they make these little, I don't even know what they're called, propagation balls maybe. They use them for trees and stuff. You can buy them online, but I've heard that they can be big and bulky and not the easiest to work with when you're working in tight spaces. And I contemplated getting some, but I never ended up doing it just because from everything that I heard, they're not the world's easiest things to work with. And I actually tried ordering from Amazon those like little things that come in like bubblegum machines, like the little balls that you get the prizes in. And I got those and I thought I'd give them a try, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work quite right because they were not, just too much effort. So yeah, this works the best for me. Get it a little bit more wet because I just wrung that out a little bit too much. And then if you give it a good squeeze, you want it firm. Otherwise the moss just goes and it all falls apart. So I kind of firm it up into a wad to make it a little bit easier to get it on here. So put that on there. Kind of hold it firm. And wrap that plastic wrap around it. I don't know what I'm doing. I lost my place here. There's a couple leaves in the way. Wrap it nice and tight. I don't know, some people might like them a little bit more loose. I prefer a nice tight wrap. Actually, I think I can actually get the second note in this one too, because it's kind of right there. I'm going to try to get that in there as well, to save myself a little bit of awkward wrapping. That right there. And I will check these periodically and use like a little eyedropper to get it into the top. I leave a little gap at the top so that I can continue watering when that moss dries out. I don't want to leave it super open because I do not want it to dry out too quickly. I don't want to mess around with it much because I kind of want it just to do its own thing without a lot of me messing around with it. And then, because I'm holding that on there, pull that out. And tape it. I'm going to throw another piece of tape on that bottom because I wrapped that one a little bit weird to get the two nodes in there. I don't know if that's going to work because I'm barely covering that bottom one. But we'll give it a go. The nice thing about this is if it doesn't take, if I don't have it, my hair is disaster. If I don't have it wrapped quite right and it doesn't take, then I'm at the same place I am right now. So it's not a huge issue if it doesn't take, because I haven't cut it yet and I can just rewrap it and try it again later in a different, different time, different way. So this is what I've got right now. I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. That one's barely covered, so it may take, it may not, and we'll see. And then I'm going to leave the base for now as is, and we will see what happens. Kind of give you guys a overview of the plan I've got. We've got those all layered up in there. Some pretty leaves. Isn't that pretty? Some solid green ones, unfortunately, but that'll happen. All right, and that is my little air layering technique. Super, super technical and super, super fancy. If you guys have any questions, please leave some comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. And I will try to remember when this does root to kind of give you guys updated follow-ups on it. And then, yeah, if you guys have any other techniques or tips that you want to share, go ahead and leave the comments below. If you found this to be a helpful video, you can go ahead and like it. If you want to see more of my random posts as I have them, go ahead and subscribe. And I hope you guys all have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.